Start my Zoom, do the video that way. I start the video. Remove the background. And that will be part of the stream. Good. I think I'll share the screen and I'll share my second screen. We'll put ourselves onto the side of that so that we can see each other. And good. That. So the YouTube link is going to be shared after the session. So no worries about that. Very cool. Good, you can see that. So I think I'm good to go. So as I said, I've shared with you some speaking of video. So as I said, you're going to share the tidbits, then you're going the best. Then you're going to go through each and every one of them. Don't write your name, don't want to know who it is, but you want to know what you get to identify. All right, so let me do this so that it's only one. I do that. Okay, it's getting only me. I have to do this, and then I say hide non-video. Good. Okay, so let me just give you a brief of Atlassian maybe. So Atlassian maybe started out in March this year, not too long ago. So we started out from just 30 members. We had an earlier session in Suka sometime back in like a month or 2 months, and a half month. So right now we are at 313 members. Some of you already joined sometime this week, India, and became members. So when you become a member of an Atlassian community, basically any meeting or any session or anything, whether you can attend physically or not, you're also part of it. As you can see, I have to do the Zoom, right? So for those who have joined earlier, we have members from KC, we have members from Pranga, we have members from Technical University. So we have members from all over the region. So as an Atlassian mail, we are not limited to having organizing events alone. We are also entitled to organize events all over Kenya. The same way Atlassian we can do that. So when you're a member of a community, when you go above and beyond being a member, you can even come through and become a volunteer. And after being a volunteer, you can come in and become a co-leader. And maybe you never know, some 5 or so 6 years down the line, you become the community leader, right? So, and you don't have to be a community leader for me. You can become even a community leader for your own region that you ventured into, right? But you cannot become a community leader just like that. Not just you feel like becoming one, you become one. It's usually a very rigorous process. You apply, you go through a number of interviews. Somebody called a community manager who stands for or manages all the communities within Europe, Middle East, and Africa, and I think Russia or something like that. So no worries about that. That is a page you can cross enough about that today. So today's event is about cultivating an affiliate mindset. So I'll scroll down. I don't know that anyone who got that link. I'm trying to click the link and you for description. But you never saw it. Will your SVP too? This is the event, right? So there's a link that you put here. I always put a link that can help you. Here, do you see this? And then you click your link. Also, if you're there, you can use it. You can just go on your phone and just click on it. No worries. Click, you prepare swag or something. No worries. All right, so Atlassian, as you said, you're going to learn about the Agilian mindset, Atlassian style. So Atlassian has something called Atlassian Agile Coach. And you can see the link is there, atlassian.com/agile/advantage agile mindset. The link is on there. You don't have to cram the link is there. So we're not trying to talk about Agile. I'm not going to go through this as if it's a lecture. We're going to do something very nice about it. I want to go to the definition somewhere here. Somewhere here. So you can see it's here. I don't know. I think I need to zoom it up, makes it better like that. Cynthia. And maybe highlight that part. So do you see that part says somebody can read for us? Maybe you can just read for us. Anyone? Let me do a random because I've written your names. Albanas. Albanas atusomee. By combining the agile mindset processes to adapt and change and deliver into so basically what that is in 1, 2, or 3, 4 words is things such as understanding, collaborating, learning, and staying flexible. Those are the 4 things. And at the end of it all, the output of being agile is high performance, right? High performance. I can come up with a project. Let's imagine you are going to have maybe the national election being monitored, and maybe let's say the steering committee is all of us here, right? Then we realize we can't do the elections the way we usually do it in Kenya. And they say like, okay, we want to do it the United States way. We want to be doing early voting, but there's mailbox voting. We want to do online voting, and also we want to do maybe the election day and something about time, right? So you can see the voting process. We already know voting is going to come next year, India. And even before the national election, all those parties will be conducting grassroots elections, India. So basically, there's always an opportunity to take advantage of that. Being the developer that you are, I've had people love programming, who love solving problems, I've had people love technology. You can use that and make an opportunity to take advantage of that 1 or 2 or 3 parties who want to do the elections in a way that maybe follows the capacity and the guidelines of IEBC, but they do it in a more efficient way to achieve high performance. But they say every contestant or every person who wants to get a nomination, they say they've gotten a free and fair verdict of how they perform. So basically, that's just an example. But you can see when you decide you are a team, we are going to do that. I'm going to use that throughout the session. Is you need to understand each other. You need to know whether Joseph is going to do the part of Tally, if he's good at that. Is he, if it's development, is he more an app developer, mobile app developer? Is he going to be doing the back end or the front end of the online voting system? Is he going to be doing maybe the mobilization? There's some people who are going to do mobilization and marketing or trying to bring in the business, bring in the parties into the system, and so on and so forth. So the first thing that you need to do is obviously to understand each other, right? You need to understand who we are in the session. Then also you're going to see that you need to also understand who are going to be the leaders of some sub-teams, right? And who's going to be the overall project manager. And all this depends on how you're going to do it. There are things in Atlassian, we will take note and go and check about it. They're called team plays or Atlassian plays. Maybe I can just straight up here and just Google it up and show you. Let me do a new tab and I show you that. They're usually called Atlassian plays. Atlassian plays. So do you see when I just Googled Atlassian plays, right? So you can see it is this find the right place for your team. There's spoils, retrospective, there's working agreements, icebreaker activity. Sometimes when you're in a team, you might not even be named the person who is seated beside you. So an icebreaker It's usually that kind of activity that helps you loosen up and get to and get to understand. So all those are there. You just check them out. Today I'm not talking about Atlassian, so you'll allow me not to go into that right now. I'll go back to the Atlassian agile mindset. So this is where we are. I'm still on that definition because that definition is so rich in terms of what it can result. Then I wanted to close to get out of my zone here so that the rest can help me taking pictures as we move on. Those my phone to take pictures later as we move on and do that. So where were we? I've talked about understanding, right? We need to understand each other. Then the second thing for which we're going to try and do that, we are going to try to do each and every part of the process, right? The second thing is about collaborating. And Atlassian, as a company and as a community, is all about collaboration. Even the tools that we've developed as Atlassian are all about collaboration. I can tell you of a number of tools that can help you collaborate that I've already talked about in other events. There's Trello. Don't know whether some of you have ever used Trello. There's Confluence. So Trello stands for Trello. Doesn't stand for anything, but it is an app that helps you manage your day, manage your tasks. You can do it as a team. For example, you can all, for example, when we are talking about that whole process of elections, there are a number of activities that you take in there. So all those activities need to be classified, and also they need to be put in something called cards and votes when you work on it. So that is what Trello does. Then Confluence helps you with documentation. I believe all of you have heard of people saying that idea and some of that sort. So you must be doing teamwork projects somewhere, but you're going to find that somehow. And also you're going to do an individual project. So in your teamwork project, you need to collaborate. There are going to be some people who are going to be so good in documentation, can help you. For example, like right now, if this was a formal meeting, there needed to be a secretary who is going to be always taking note of everything that we are talking about, was taking note of those who are present, those who are absent with apology and so on and so forth. And sometimes those things that such as documentation always gets in the way. It always gets in the way of development. I've ever seen people so good, wametengeneza software kali sana. Then naambia like, can you help with the documentation? Nianze kuelewa vizuri. Naona anaanza kupiga about nini I say. But always documentation is very important. I'm sure hakuna mtu alinunua simu yake akapata simu peke yake. Ndio. Tulipata kitu ndani. Although you never read the user manual, ndio. Tukubaliane, we never read that manual na kuonyesha button inakuanga hapa, tutafinya ukifinya kwa button. We never do that, ndio. Sometimes hata zimewekwa in like so 5-7 different languages, but we never open that thing. We just start onto the phone to make sure tuliweke in charge na tunaanza kuitumia, ndio. Even our laptops, if you buy a brand new one, you always get that manual that is telling these are chargers, they connect TV, everything, ndio. So in development, also in software, you must also do a user manual. You need to do a documentation. And it is not something that you say it's optional. You must do it. Because at one point in time, we obviously know we are all mortals. If our software is to outlive you, it has to have documentation. Another programmer needs to take it up and be able to improve it. So that is one thing that can help you, collaboration. Then I love that part about learning. I've had people, when I was hearing people introduce themselves, I think they are into lifelong learning, they are the willingness to learn. What else may they say about learning? New things every day, overcoming challenges, India. So in terms of learning, even the reason why you are here, there's so many things you can do on a Saturday, India. But you come here to learn something, the Agilian mindset. So when you are learning, you are not only you are refining yourself. When you are talking about refining yourself, it means that you are able to weed out things that are no longer valuable to you. For example, when sometimes learning is best when you also know how to unlearn something. Yes. Have you ever heard about that? There is unlearning. I hope you know that. Because at one point in time, you come to realize that even the brain itself, as you try to learn new things, there are other things that nature kukumbuka kabisa. And even not know. For example, like right now, ikiambiwa ni jaribu, nakumbuka tulikuwa tukiwa watoto tulikuwa tunachukua ile type tunaweka vijiti mbili hivi niendesha, si ndio? Sasa hizo ukiniambia nijaribu kufanya hiyo kitu, I don't remember how to do it. Ama kuendeshea basically on the side, ama sijui vitu kama hizo black mamba and all those kind of things, ama hata kucheza manyonyi unajua kuimanisha and all those kind of things. But it's because that I no longer do them frequently, my brain has started unlearning that as also learning. So sometimes unlearning is also a process that you need to do, or also takes, you don't have to wait until it happens naturally, but you can do it, then you can be able to learn more. Sometimes unlearning gives you more space to learn something new. Then the other one was staying flexible. You cannot be able to learn new things if you are not staying flexible. Not about staying flexible. I have heard one of us say that they love dynamism in technology. Because you, yeah, I remember. Remember your name. Sorry, I forgot it. Sharon, yes. Sharon Kilos, yeah. So that was very nice because technology is always dynamic. For example, there was a time when what? Trying to look at something that happened in technology that was so disruptive, that was so dynamic, that really changed the way we do things. For example, there was a time when if you are a developer in Windows C, and you can be able to develop, let's say, some high grade command line kind of tools, and people can be able to use it. Or even if you are, let's say, an access, you can, remember some people can develop a whole app using Microsoft Access. Remember, even I think for those who did computer studies in high school, I think Access these days was actually, or that time, and also Visual Basic 6.0. So I think those people will call it well, VP6 develop on something less of. But right now, it's a begin of kuna Python, kuna OP language, kuna PHP, kuna frameworks, kuna JS, kuna whatever. So if you're not into that, if you did not try to unlearn that, to learn the new things that are there, you are done because you do not try to stay flexible. The best example you already know is Nokia. You know the story of Nokia? What happened when the CEO did go to live made a press address? Now, the worst thing that they did is to become rigid and not embrace technology. Remember, Nokia was the last phone company to embrace something. Walikana Symbian. That time, Samsung hata wako wanafikia Nokia by any time. But Samsung and all the other technology and all that, they decided to take up Android because it was open source, and they decided to make a meal out of it. And at one point in time, Nokia went down, though I think they are trying to come back again. But still, it will never be the same because they never dominated the market really. They did at that time. And all that is because of what? Not staying flexible. If you don't stay flexible as a team, you're not able to be able to use the agile mindset. So that is what the agile mindset is. It's all about thought. It's all about in the mind. It's all about being able to understand, collaborate, to learn, and to stay flexible. And the output of all that, combining all that, is to get high performance in terms of your results, in terms of even the kind of output and the kind of software that you develop, or the kind of even business that you run. Let's scroll down a bit, then you'll do a task, activity. Okay, let's read this. And maybe I'll read it so that go a bit faster. So you can see, imagine now outdoor summer concert, any concert that you may be having. I believe all of you mlikuanga na freshers night, apart from last year of COVID. So you went to which was a freshers night, was kind of a concert. So you probably, what do you picture? Let me tell you a story. There's an event, especially in Agilian or somewhere. You always have that expectation, and you've already formed a picture of how that event will be. Then what you picture is a relaxed, comfortable, and enjoyable atmosphere. You attend this concert with an expectation that the musicians will riff off of each other and harmonizing in real time. So, however, as soon as the performance begins, everyone on the stage is playing separate keys in an uncoordinated manner. This would be a very good performance, and more than likely, you would feel frustrated with the turnout of the event. So what do? Now take this scenario and apply it to the workplace. A team cannot function properly without some form of structure. In the same way that music relies on melody, harmony, and rhythm, a team needs a strong underlying system to achieve a common goal. Constraints are often seen as limiting and hindering, when in reality, they complement each other to provide a team with the true project flexibility. So let me read that part again. Constraints are often seen as limiting and hindering, when in reality, they complement each other to provide a team with true project flexibility. So that means there's always going to be some things such as, for example, there can be budgetary constraints in here. Unaweza kuwa unataka kutengeneza apia kama kubwa, ndio? Umeanza ukidhani hii kitu hata nitakuwa tu na tools, kila kitu itakuwa open. Naingia hivi unapata kukuwa na certain API, inabidi lipie some certain number of dollars. Naingia hivi pale unapata ndio kuna some kind of real time activity with a real time database. You have to get if something. I've had somebody from DSC, ndio? Nani alikuwa developer student labs? Is from DSC, you, right? So I don't know that I usually use GCP, the Google Cloud Platform, if you are development or something of that sort. So, so there was a day when I was actually doing a certain thing with, I was following a certain coding class, Kwani Technogaz. There are some ladies from Kwani who are coming up with that girls kind of thing, women coding and all those kinds. So I was following up on how they're actually using Codula to develop like a beauty shop using a mobile app. So what was there is they were using GCP to come and using something called Firebase to come up with a real-time database where they will interface with the database using Codula. So it was so nice to see how they can be able to do it at the basic level. I was always thinking about like, say app ikianza kutumika na let's say 100,000, 400,000 people. How will they be able to scale it up? Because najua GCP ikifika some point in time, ile Kenya ni free hawezi tumia, ndio? So always be those constraints. But what are you going to? Constraints are usually they complement each other to provide a team with true project flexibility. I'll still pose for some questions somewhere. So sijali, don't feel like it's all about information overload. So in an agile work environment, the strong underlying system of guidelines offers teams with the agility to optimize their work for improved and more efficient delivery. So there's usually some underlying system of guidelines of how you can work in agile. And when you open this link we cannot even finish whatever resources there in this section. It is so rich in a lot of what you can do. And when you combine the agile coach with the Atlassian team plays, you can be able to do a lot with regards to coming up with high performance targets and how high performance results. So I'll go here. We've already defined this. So I'll just read from this part. Let me not highlight. Is that part written this way of thinking? Upwards in your camera. Do you see that part? It says this way of thinking helps teams adapt to change rather than struggle around it. Instead of simply diving into agile practices, that's what most people do. No, sometimes you are taught agile practices, then but you're trying to use agile tools without an agile mindset. No. So when you're trying to use a certain tool and you don't have the mindset to use that tool, it's not going to work for you. It's like trying to use a screwdriver. Unajua screwdriver iko na handle na iko nayo part ya kutanisha, si ndio? Leo umeichukua si a tool. Leo unang'ang'ana unashinda kwa nini haishiki, but umeshikilia ile part yenye inafaa kushikilia msumari na umeshika part ya handle unajaribu kushika screw. We need to have our do not work. It is a tool that you can use, but since you don't have the right mindset for any handle, sasa nitaanza kutanisha, not be able to do. So that is what we're talking about. That is what you can see today. I didn't come and just tell you this. These are just practices. There's still a lot of practices within Atlassian. I will tell you that. The previous session that we had, you can check on our page. We had Jira practices, Confluence based practices, and Trello based practices. But I didn't want to come and start on that. I wanted us to start on the Agile mindset. So it is vital for all team members to understand and truly adopt the methodology in all aspects of their work. When the why of Agile is understood, the how is nurtured naturally. The how is nurtured naturally in accordance with the needs of the team. It's no secret that the change is hard and can be difficult to navigate, especially with complex projects. Making even the slightest adjustment to existing system can often feel tedious and not worth the effort. Studies show that 60 to 80% of project failures can be directly attributed to poor requirements gathering, analysis, and change management. The Agile mindset is the perfect approach to these turbulent and challenging environments, as it teaches how to embrace change rather than continuously avoid it. The intention behind the Agile mindset is to empower your employees to do their best work. A strong mindset allows team members to experience autonomy, freedom, creativity, and innovation. The result is a happy and healthy team, in which in turn continuously improves the strong system in place. So these are the 4 pillars of the Agile mindset. They are here. So the first one is respect for all team members. That is the first. There are 4 pillars. And these ones, once you know that one, is good to do. So respect for all team members. You can see the very first thing is when you started introducing yourself. I tried my best to write your name down. The reason for that is I didn't want umefanya hiyo kazi yote ya kujiintroduce. Then nakwambia wewe wa track ya white. And there was an introduction session. It is not that right, Cindy. That is the most important thing. I don't know how you usually do your meetups as Techno Science Club, because I see a majority of you as a part of Techno Science. Where you get new members. Joseph, unajua kila mtu kwa klabu yako. Nimrod, managers. Nice. Do you know every member of your Techno Science Club member? That's a question for another day. Naona kila mtu anajaribu kujificha hivi chini kama ni repeat. You should know each and everyone. And even if you don't know by their name, you know them by their personality or even what they're capable of. That is the first thing that you need to do when you're talking about an agile mindset. You can see the most important pillar to keep in mind is that the people on your team are absolutely essential to the success of the organization. I already knew that for this event to be an event, I needed each and every one of you, right? And as you go on, you'll come and realize, come and know, okay, this and that is what I'm saying. Tell me something interesting about yourself, because knowing your name is one thing, and knowing what you're interested in is another thing. So, working with your team as a collective unit unites everyone with a common vision, purpose, and goal. Team members who are treated with respect naturally gravitate towards delivering continuous, sustainable, and value results. I don't know if you've ever been in a team, but when I started out dancing salsa, I was so poor at dancing salsa. Only instructor anawaambia go pair up. Wasichana wanaendea wale wenzao wanaelini. Unabaki sasa mnabaki hivi mnaangalia na wewe na ule mwenye atui ile wako walichaguliwa ndio mnapea up pamoja. Then it becomes the worst thing ever, because that you watu wawili wenye hata hivyo. And usually felt ilikuwa unafeel ukisikia kuna hiyo session nyingine unasikia hata ujisikii kuenda, si ndio? Because unajua wewe ndio utakuwa mwisho kuchaguliwa, ama hata sio mwisho kuchaguliwa, wewe ndio utakuwa mwisho consider or anything. Then the instructor will be like, hey, hata hizo bana, hata kushikana kama hivi. Sasa kila mtu anaangalia hizo. Nani wewe ndo azim nani ndo amefanya gana, azim kuna a lot of things, yani the attention is all on you because in this kind of team there's no respect that okay wenyewe hata tuelewe huyu mtu wako hii level then atakuja ile. And it was hard, but the good thing is with my mindset I was always like nilikuwa nasema like huyu mtu mmoja nitamuonyesha kwa nini. I would go to my room. So unajua sometimes kama nyinyi mko privilege walikuwa wananipatia na wardrobe. Nasema hivyo because wengine wetu tunajua tulikuwa tunaishi kwa nyumba yenye wardrobe ni sanduku yenye iko chini ya kitanda, si ndio? So there's always that thing. So we had a wardrobe at home. So unajua kuna venye ukitanisha wardrobe hivi inakujanga tena inarudi hivi inaenda hivi, si ndio? So I actually turn a wardrobe, unatana haraka nakuja nipate wardrobe ilikuja hapa na nation nimesimamisha. Sasa I do those kind of things by myself mpaka na make sure nimetana vizuri. Naangalia kama hiyo wardrobe ikinigonga najua nilikuwa karibu kufanyaga hiyo mwenzangu, si ndio? So nilikuwa najua sometimes ikinigonga najua hiyo ni malipo ya mimi kujaribu kufanyaga. By the time I go back to a session nilikuwa na dance vizuri, nilikuwa tunakaibusha na ile yenye unaona watu wawili wanakuvutia unashinda sasa. Dance club as DSC or as your class group you to study together or whichever team you are in, you always work in a team or another. One thing that you always need to do is to do something that is not focused to your that for example kama mnaendanga kufanya maybe let's say what kama group study ama kutia line or something like that. So before kuenda kuivia maybe you can decide tufanye hivi badala ku nini twende maybe let's say trends tukunywe chai tujuane, si ndio or something that so or go maybe and do maybe a hike na mwana mnatembea mpaka Mngoni huko, they don't know that kuna waterfall bado huko, yeah, then you go there and just experience nature and talk about something, get some snacks, najua huyu believe hivyo alimwona na toka and all those kind of things. Then you come back, you're able to do a lot when you are doing all the things that you're supposed to do. So that is one way I've usually used to do it. Then also have open sessions. Sometimes all of us go through a lot of stress, usually when you're maybe learning, when you are maybe even at work. There's always one thing that you must tell the truth and scare to vent out to a group. And you don't have to wait until you are in a rehab, they do it so well. Unakuwa na kasako, kila mtu anaambia sasa introduce yourself, sema hivi wiki imekwaje, tunasema hivi nimekaa sasa siku 3 sijavuta bangi, nimefanya hivi, si ndio? I think that is how rehab works. Ndio ama sijakunywa nini tena hata nakupigia makofi you feel like unaendelea, si ndio? You are making tena the day unatoka rehab una feel ni kweli anaweza wewe. And you are paying people a lot of money. Rehab inakuwa express, si ndio? Those are, I don't know whether this how has been there here. And it's really very expensive. But you can imagine you're going there to pay someone or to pay an organization or an establishment for something that you can do yourself. Yeah. Why can't you do it yourself? So that is the thing about respect for all team members. Always foster a culture of respect and also show what is called psychological safety. So I was not shown psychological safety when I was starting out salsa. So that is why you can usually see some people to do that. So you can see a great way to encourage this is what? To ensure that every member is included and feels part of the process. So one you can do, you can see, I said you're not going to discuss products, but one way of doing this is you can create open pages in Confluence to keep everyone on the same page. So what that means is using Confluence, you can be able to make sure everyone knows it and therefore you always collaborate. And then Confluence always has templates. Kama kuna template ya kuanzisha meeting, I don't know if you make your Confluence. You should just check out Confluence. Confluence is there as an app, as a mobile app. It is also there as a Confluence site. So as I said today, we're not discussing products, so I'm not there in any product around their mindset. But you can just check it out and you can organize a session on that later. So let's go to something else. So always embody what we call we instead of I. Then the other pillar is optimized and sustainable. Optimized and sustainable. What we meant about optimized and sustainable flow is it refers to the implementation of incremental delivery, reduced batch sizes, and continuous improvement. Na mtu alisema anaiva amependa kusema nikaripata. Yes, who else? Yes. I don't know for those who are into programming. Have you ever gone into CI/CD? Do you know CI/CD? CI/CD stands for continuous integration from continuous development. Usually something that is there, especially right now in the way you are developing. You're using things such as a versioning system such as GitHub, such as Bitbucket that is offered by Atlassian also. You have to know how to do continuous integration and continuous development. So it's usually called CI/CD. So it's called CI/CD. So what that means is you don't have to get the whole picture and get the perfect project or get the perfect app the first time. But always you know how to come up with something new, continuously integrate it into your app or into your solution, and obviously continuously develop. Yes, and it is there in every big tech company, any big development company, from Google, from when Google was a search engine, then it was starting out. It was not the search engine that you know in India. Even how the moment even they acquired YouTube. Right now, nasikia wimbo fulani unakuwa zamani ulikuwa unaambia unajua hiyo inaenda then anakuambia hiyo ni gani, si ndio? But now in YouTube you can just even say some three parts yenye hata sio jina hiyo video utapata hiyo video, si ndio? Si ndio? Even if it's maybe hiyo ya major but ya Kenya hapo unaweza ipata, si ndio? And many other songs that you know. I've ever tried to search a song, siku anajua title yake, yenye niliandika some 3 words yenye nilisikia kwa hiyo ngoma nilipata, si ndio? But a normal search engine will always be trying to compare the title of the song with the keywords that have been typed, si ndio? But with machine learning, with recognition, with a lot of things that are there, with captioning, right now, Google is one of the best search engines and the best compilers in the industry and in the market. So, and they can only have achieved that because of CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous development. So always have an optimized and sustainable flow. So that means is the agile mindset builds in quality by allowing teams to maximize value and minimize waste. Anything that you do, if you waste time, you are actually adding. For example, you can come into a session. You don't know if I usually had this. When I was doing my computer science back then, we had a study group with a friend of mine because we knew I really survived in computer science. And obviously, all my weekends were equal to dance. So I knew that weekend, hakuna masomo. So what usually used to be decided, okay, on a card, on anything, we always ensure that tusingangane kusoma last minute, kijua exam inakuja. Because tunasoma tunaiva, actually tunasetiana card. Tunamwambia wewe kesho una set kati ya maybe ya discrete math. Yana set kati ya discrete math. Alafu anakuja tunamwambia tuweke vitabu kando tunafanya. Na tuna set according to the lecturer what the lecturer was insisting on. Then tukimaliza tuna exchangeana tuna mark. And that is the way we usually used to do that is tunaambia wewe ukafanya hivyo tukikuja tu nikufanya hiyo kata utaki sasa. Then ukimaliza tuna revise hizo tunamalizia then tunaiva. If inafika kwenye exam Unaona tu tunapewa paper, unaona unakiamba paper hivi, hata kuna sijui kama wengine walikuwa unaogopa kuangalia question, unapiga hivyo kujaza booklet, kujaza jina booklet, sijui mpaka hata unataka kujaza course unafanya full hata specialization, unataka kuangalia maswali, unajua unaogopa kwenye umekram kukosea. Sasa una make sure unaona wengine wanafungua kwenye booklet, wanaanza kuandika kila kitu yenye walikuwa wamekram. Sasa ndio wanakuja refer nayo kama swali hili kuja hivyo. That is the hardest way to pass it. But what tuition used to do is sisi tulikuwa hata tuangalia booklet, tulikuwa tunaangalia maswali tu na confirm kama maswali zilikuja, tumewahi jisetia na tukafanya. Kuna siku moja tulifanya tukapata coding planning. Are you still being taught? I don't know. Are you being taught by Kenya? Some of you. Kenya give alituletea section A. Yeah, I don't know if it's programming it was, but alituletea section A, so alifanya matrix multiplication and matrix addition using C, 20 marks. Question A. And question 1A. Question B ilikuwa 10 marks. Now the good thing is when you decided to meet as a group, alikangana kufunza mpaka yeye mwenyewe akafunza, na tunajua sometimes ni ngumu yeye kupatikana. Nasema acha tukram hili. Video yenye inaweka sijui when you do matrix multiplication you have to do a for loop, a loop that is another loop, then it is another loop, ndio ya ij na k, ndio. I remember because I've never forgotten it up until today. Liana tu swali imewekwa question 1 in compulsory 20 marks. Tukajua unit tutapata hii. Kwa sababu watu wengine wote watalemewa na hiyo swali because maybe hapo crammed it just before the 2:30 p.m. And that is basically what it is. As you're working as a team, you deliver high performance. High performance meaning that, you know what, personally I can tell you, there is no unit. For me to get that fast, there is no unit in some example. From the cover of my page, cover exercise, to the cover of you got to tunasoma planning. Mimi tunajua okay, hiyo at least nimesomea, lakini I was focusing on some things, then naacha. Mimi kama unasomanga I lecture, so I usually give some parts. Then some students tell me like, tulisoma introduction na huku leta. Kwa mimi introduction ilikuwa I don't know how you usually do this, maybe I don't know how you do your study methods, but kuna watu wanasomanga vitabu, unasoma unit. Unasoma page 1 na page 2 exercise book yako ushachoka, unarudi. Kuja kurevise exam tena, unasoma tu page 1 na page 2. So inamaanisha wewe unajua tu introduction na ama hata course outline pekee ama hiyo. But the things that are there huko katikati, I have no idea about it. And you don't get it. You usually don't get it because you are actually having a lot of waste. You have less value. So what I'm telling you about all that story is always have value. Know what to study smart. You don't have to read cover to cover. I usually prefer, in most lecturers, I can tell you, most lecturers prefer you demonstrating understanding than you showing how you can be able to replicate whatever is in the exercise book, what to your booking. You want to make it a career lesson. So let's go to something else. Okay. So I don't know, this is about Jira. This is Jira. You can use it for that. Then the other thing is encourage team innovation, right? So about encouraging team innovation. Innovation is the driving force of a team with an agile mindset. You cannot be in an agile mindset and you're not innovating. And innovating starts with ideation. And what innovation is, if I can tell you in a simple sentence, it is the implementation of an idea. And the moment you had an idea, maybe I've already heard about people saying that they love solving problems. And every problem is an idea. There's an idea of how to solve it behind that problem. That's the truth. So if there's are never innovated. One of the most prominent benefits of agile approach is how much autonomy team members have during a project. So I'll not read that. As a team leader, it's important to provide ample time and space to nurture your team's creativity. So in this point, just helping, allowing people and giving a platform for creativity. Maybe you an idea, mna discuss hata anajua hizi toa idea, si ndio? Because anajua anytime atataka kusema kuna kitu anataka kusema ama a different way of trying to solve something atakuwa shut down because anaonekana kuwa hakuna kenye anadeliver. So always allow for innovation. Then I think that's the last one. Is it the third one or the last one? The fourth one. Focus on relentless improvement. The fourth one, Silvio, that's the last one. So focus on relentless improvement. Agile mindset is something that needs that teams achieve, but rather something that is continuously cultivated. So that means is an agile mindset. Certificate in agile mindset. So it's not something that you achieve. Silvio, for example, at the end of your 4 years or something, you're going to get a certain transcript, you're going to get this certificate. Because it's something at the end of it all you achieve. But an agile mindset is something that you cultivate. It's a culture that becomes winners, right? So it means that you should always find ways to optimize, problem solve, reflect, and improve the agile mindset process of agile process, right? So that means is you should always find ways of optimizing the workflow, giving it maybe giving some retrospectives and also periods of reflection to improve future processes. Technosense always organize events. Usually organize events. Usually do debriefing of events. You do debriefing. Debriefing is where you ask yourself, you meet up and organizing communities and ask each other, how did the event go? Where did we go wrong? What went right? What could have been done better than not done better? That's something very important. The reason why you do that is so that you don't repeat the same mistakes in the same event. For example, like right now, what I've already learned from organizing this event is I need to come here at 9 if I want to start the event at 10 for us to have things right. For us to know, for example, when I was calling the managers, telling them I need to use that projector. Okay, you have to do this, you have to pay this money. Then tell me, oh, no, I can't do that. It wasn't in the budget to pay for that. Then says, okay, can you use the other side because you have a free? So you can see all those kind of things. I would have already started it out if I came earlier, right? So there's always that retrospective. You should always have some self like how you should do it. So that is what you need to do. You should always improve the process. Always improve the process. Then creating a cadence between structure and innovation sets the team up with expectations while still maintaining the freedom to explore different ways to improve. Continuous delivery, you can use that. You can apply using tools such as Jira and Confluence. You can easily organize the workspace and techniques needed to implement a solution. So these are how to use Confluence and Jira to achieve a mindset. But what I will ask us to do, not to really do it exactly the way it is before we get to this, even before we get to the how. I'd like to take some 5 or so 6 or 7 minutes, but even then, depending on the number of questions you have, I'd like to take your questions on the topic. Then you can do some practical activity. I think I asked you to come with either your smartphone or your laptop. You can see some of you already have it. So we're going to see how we can navigate to Confluence. We're going to do a small conversation task. And then, yeah, and then I'll show you how to use it. So maybe I can take questions. Yeah, is there a question? Hope it was not a lot at once. Don't worry, if I talk so fast, You're still going to get the link where you can rewind the link and rewind me again. Hear what I'm saying. So you can ask any question, even if it's kind of unrelated, but still within the same kind of thing. I'm from Panasonic. Anyone? Really, if you are not where there are no questions. You never know kama watu walifloat. Kama watu walishika kitu. Is there any question? Any takeaway, Matthew? Any takeaway from what you just covered, apart from the 4 pillars, or maybe anything that is a takeaway that can apply now, that you learned and that you are going to apply? Any takeaway? Yes.
What I can say that I have learned about the mindset is that your part of optimization.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can fanya more, you can do more with, and unaweza fanya more, but ukiwa na hiyo mindset you can do more, but otherwise ungefanya a lot of quantity but quality.
Only that essence of optimization. That is pillar number 2, right? Optimize and sustain. Because we should always have something that can sustain. Right now, like if I can tell you as a team, maybe you as a, maybe if you are a development team, may not be able to sustain a global sale of distributing and developing Windows operating system. That is something that takes a decade to build, and it takes a lot of massive investment and a supply chain and a number of things. So even as you optimize and you're able to sustain that. So always have kind of a thing of what can you sustain, what can you, and when you optimize, you can realize that you can be able to sustain things that even others cannot do because they don't have the agile mindset. Yeah. Yes.
Point number 2 and 4. Kind of same button number. Use the CICD. Then on the focus on improvement.
Oh, okay, that is a very good thing. So it's a question. So how are they different? So the point number 2 is about that project. Your project. Point number 4 is about the whole agile process. Here CICD yenye nilikuwa naongelea CICD ni CICD yenye una apply kwa project yako. Ndio, that's when you compare GitHub na Bitbucket. Ndio. But when you're talking about focus on relentless improvement, you're not improving how you are doing the whole 4 things. Or the whole 3 things in the before. Yeah. The whole 3 things, the whole agile mindset, the agile tools. Kama kumetokea na tool better ya kufanya agile, unachukua hiyo una improve, unaachana na ile nyingine. Ndio. Kutokea na something better than GitHub, unaachana na GitHub unatumia. So that is what we call focus on relentless improvement. But nyingine ilikuwa optimize and sustainable flow within your project. Yeah. So the last one is all about the whole thing. Usisahau usikae umepata ka agile kadogo unasema nimefika. Agile is always improving. Yeah. So you always focus on improving that process. Yes.
So it was not a question, rather. You're going to read that. So the agile mindset, yeah, it is kind of a tool, yani. Yeah, okay, that's physical, like abstract, like it's something if you have it, yeah, you are able to do things like special, like still when you were doing it on the fan. So it's kind of it's a thought process, kind of.
It's a thought process. The mindset is the one that you now use. Once you have the mindset, you can easily better use the tools, right? The same way I'm telling you, like a Confluence is a tool that you can use, is an agile tool. Jira is an agile tool, which obviously are going to now go into the next session and see how the practicality does it practically. I'll create a Confluence page. make sure kila mtu ameingia kwa hiyo conference page, tuone venye kila mtu anacollect on that conference. So conference is the tool, Jira is the tool, Trello is the tool, but the mindset is the one that you are talking about, right? How to do the 4 things. You expect your team members, you have sustainable and optimizable flow. The third thing is said what? Yes, encourage team innovation. Then you do the last thing is do what? You are having relentless improvement of the whole process. So those are the 4 things. Those are the 4 things. If you have those 4 things, you already have the agile mindset. And you're complicated. Actually, in certain companies, especially in Europe, they have people called Scrum Masters. They have agile coaches, and even people who are just into helping teams apply agile and use agile too. It is that serious. Anyway, kazi yako umepewa job a certain company, a development company. Na kazi yako tu ni kukua coach wa agile. Ukuje hivi ufanyishane vitu na kufuatilia kwa watu wanafuata the agile process, getting paid for that. No. So in some cases it's that serious, but since you're in Kenya and you don't have that as a portfolio, you know, it's something that you inculcate within yourself to become high performing, and you rise to becoming a senior developer, to becoming a team project leader, and even becoming a CTO, then a CEO, or even a CIO. And you cannot rise if you are not able to have those kind of things that set you apart from others, right? So you can be able to use the Agilian mindset to ensure that everyone is what? Everyone is respected. Everyone is respected. And when you're respected and you're feeling that you're a part of a bigger thing, that is very important. And right now, you're not only members of a Technoscience, you're a member of a global Atlassian community. Once you signed up on ace.atlassian.com/meru, you're also free to join community.atlassian.com. At one time, just go there and you're going to see what happens. So just go to, let me just Google it, Atlassian community. There it is, community.atlassian.com. It's a global platform. You can be able to meet all different kinds of people from all over the world. You can answer questions for others. You can see right now it has how many members? 3,947,000. So you can even find me there. I usually answer some questions there. I have some badges. There's a lot of gamification that is there. So you can always find things there. Let me just open continue to Google. Can nataka ni login itawezana. Okay, somebody wanted to enter the room. I forgot. Okay, you can just join it. If you are here, make sure you are stay muted. Say that. It is loading. Just wanted to, and you don't have to have an Atlassian community. I'm getting using that place because that is not available. You can still use your Gmail and use that, then you build your profile. So you can see that is how it looks like. There's a feed, there's some things, there's a kudos program there. A lot of things, you get some badges. Now this is my profile. So you can just come in and meet people, see interests that are there. You can see like that is my profile. You can see I have 11 badges and the number of things there. Just find people. You can go to anything you're interested in. Example, you can see is the team playbook. I was telling you about, you can see there's Agile here. We're interested in learning about Agile from many people all over the world under the Atlassian. You can see, master the art of thinking big and working small. A conversation with Frank Cutler. So I can just click on that. I can see, oh, these are something that came the other time, which is the most recent. Then I can just check, okay. You can see I'm applying Trello Magic Jira project. I can be able to just see that. Then a lot of things that I can be able to do and see within the Atlassian community. Yeah.
So the Atlassian community ni kama Stack Overflow.
Yeah, this part Atlassian community kama Stack Overflow, but it is more than that because with the Atlassian community, kuna venye unaweza unapatia, unajua kuna the physical, unajua kuna saizi kama sisi ni kama Atlassian community ya mimi. Unajua we are doing things physically. Then you have the online community. When you have the online community, there is that part of answering questions. I know you are asking something like this. Kuna part ya interest, penye watu wanauliza maswali, kuna mtu ameshindwa na code fulani. Let me remove this part imeandikwa Trello. Okay. Unaona type. So now kuna questions, kuna discussions na kuna articles. Unaona? So ni kama combination ya Stack Overflow, then you know anafanyishanga article Medium, unajua medium.com. Reddit, exactly Reddit na hizo. So it has questions, articles and discussions. And sometimes they even do some competitions. Ukishinda kitu fulani unatumia kutoka majuu unaletea something that so they have a lot of things that usually go on there. So you can join in and be part of the community. You can see the products. If you want to know things about the Atlassian products, just go there. You can use that. So that is the community. So at one point in time, so yeah, and also that part, you can see it is different from ace.atlassian.com because ace.atlassian.com is the Atlassian community event for every chapter. There are so many chapters, you can even just check them under ace.atlassian.com. Kama says if there's an event imekubamba na wanaifanya online, let me remove the Meru part. We open that for you. Just load. So how we're getting the difference is community.atlassian.com, which is a global community. Is the ace.atlassian.com where you find Atlassian Meru, Atlassian Nairobi, Atlassian New York, Atlassian Hamburg and Cologne and all those kind of things. So you can see, you can be able to check all those events, connect globally, meet locally. Join free user-led events everywhere you are. So you can see some of these are community events somewhere that's done somewhere in the US. There's usually a lot of things. You can see cultivating an Agilian. You can see like right now, our event is here. No. The one that you're having today. You can see that is there. And that's where you can see it's part of, you can see there's also a launch camp, an Atlassian community Abuja launch party. So they are launching that Atlassian community in Abuja, Nigeria. They have a party on November 13th. So you can able just check so many events that are there online with different chapters apart from Atlassian. Okay. Is there a question? Yes. Okay,
How do you just change, but at the same time keeping the originality?
How do you embrace change, but also maintain originality, right? So basically, how do you embrace change and maintain originality? This is what you do. Within the agile mindset, when trying to talk about agility, you actually need to ensure that you have a good, well laid out structure. Let's say you're trying to come up with when you're going to structure your project. You have something like a title, right? You have the requirements. Then you have those people who are going to be taking different parts. Usually what you call effort estimation. So for example, you say like this part of the project is going to take this much, this part is going to take this much. Then you ensure that change is not being embraced at this level where the project is being defined, but change is being embraced at the level of the implementation of it, or the discussion of how it is going to be implemented. So you don't allow for change at some places. There are some places where even and even. Like for example, you ensure that what you call scoping, you ensure that the project scope is well defined. Scope. For example, when I started out with Yambia about an election system, but the election has a lot of things. There's the voting, there's the tallying, and then there's the reporting. You might have a system that, or maybe you're trying to come up with a solution that is helping tallying to be done in a free, fair, and transparent way. Don't care about voting. Don't want, because in where Kenya is, you cannot do online voting and maybe let's say embrace it or maybe believe in it. But you can say, okay, once people have voted, we want to ensure that we optimize the tallying process so that the presidential results that are being announced after 37 hours can be now be reported after 12 hours, right? That is an optimization of a certain process, right? And you might find a way. So once you've already defined that is what you're doing, like tallying, out account ama tuachane na tallying sasa tuweke kila kitu. Naona tumeanzana. That is what we call optimize and sustainability. You only do it on what you can sustain. So you only embrace change. And embrace change hapo kwa hiyo level ya how you need to be implemented. For example, kama mkiamua umekaa kwa tallying, umeamua ni tallying. So unaweza embrace like, okay, if you are going to use what, like machine learning, you can decide, okay, if you use machine learning, what are the models are we going to use? Okay, be flexible within that area. Ama ukiona machine learning I work, ama whatever thing is there, kama ni computer vision I work, you can decide, okay, you're going to do maybe a system where people are going to enter things manually. So that is where you're actually embracing the change, but you're realizing that you're still trying to find ways of optimizing the tallying process. That is how you ensure that you're going to maintain originality within that. Because at the end of it all, kama say easy, you care whether WhatsApp has changed from using Python or using PHP or using whichever technology or whichever using, you really care. What you really care is whether you're going to get your message because people really don't care how you're going to do it. They just want to see, and sometimes you can even optimize something, what was you feel how you have optimized it. There's a common optimize something from you're going to in a in 12 seconds, maybe in 3 seconds, but people will still complain. Oh, and a common actually could support a lot of it to ensure that we reduce those 9 seconds. So at the end of it all, what really matters is to ensure that you global variable na local variable. So make sure change is a local variable. Such that a certain change does not affect the whole project. That is what is object-oriented analysis and design. Then it's also object-oriented program. That is when you started with. You usually start with OOAP, then you go to OOP, so that you don't program and you don't know how to analyze things in an OO fashion. Yeah, I don't want to make it about the fancy class, but you don't get it. Yeah, so yeah, so what we'll do, we'll take, is there any other questions before I call it me? We'll take a 10-minute break because unajua kuna venye tu tunataka kwenda washroom kidogo, stretch kidogo, pass nyingine kidogo, 10-minute break, then we come back and do the how to, then you can now be sharing alignments. Don't forget, you had a sticky note somewhere, write what has really captured you. We have also another 10-minute closing session to begin all you share with them. We can take a 10-minute break. Okay. So, first thing I'd like us to do today, say right now is practical. So I'd like you to, let me just duplicate my screen. Good. So let me use my Atlassian profile. There it is. So for those who have laptops, you can just Google Confluence. For those who have smartphones, you can just go to your Play Store and type Confluence, your Google Play Store. So you're going to get this part. I read there. Nifanya step by step pamoja, si ni sawa? So if you're on your laptop, mlipewa Wi-Fi. Mlipewa Wi-Fi kwa nini? Mlipewa Wi-Fi kwa nini? Sasa mimi sina Wi-Fi. Yeah. So let's wait for the Wi-Fi password. Let me just take you through as we wait for the password to come. So when you go to that, you're going to get this. You can see you start your free 30-day trial. I think these days, I think they stopped something. Just use free. Let me see that is that. Okay, before I started the trial, I think there's a free version. Oh, just that I think I might log it in. Just log in. So when you try to log in, you can log in using your Google account, or you can log in and sign up. If you decide you don't want to share that, you want to sign up with a certain account, you can do that. But personally, I've logged in is using my Atlassian community email account. Okay, why is it taking me? I think it's taken me to start.atlassian.com and to switch to Confluence. What is it telling you? Mine is already logged in. Let me just use a private window so that I don't have to go through all this. Okay. Yeah, so nimepata screen kama hii. Those are Wi-Fi ya kuja, si ndio? Let me just show you this. But if you're using your phone, you can also try it out. It doesn't take too much bandwidth. So you just click here, get it free. Okay. Let me just go back, and I think I not started sharing my screen on Zoom. Let me share my screen on Zoom. I'd forgotten that I have an online audience or an online YouTube. Do that, do this, and then I share my screen. Share. Good. Okay. So this is where I was, Confluence. So just click on get it free. Let me just confirm my video. Yeah, good. And my audio is good. Get it free. That's the first thing you do. You just sit down so that you are together. So once you're there, you can see it is asking, you can see document Confluence is basically for document collaboration. It is here. And then you can even decide to select a second product. As you can see from our recommendation from the Agile Mindset playbook, where is it? The Agile Mindset. Just share that. Sorry about that. Okay. So we are using Confluence and Jira. So here we are. So you're going to just select Jira software. So there are a number of Jira variations. You have Jira software and you have Jira service management. And you have another one that is helping you to deal with customer issues called Ops Genie. But today I'm just going to use Confluence and Jira. So let's just use that. I select that. I go to next. So let me ask. Kuna mtu amekuja kaleta password? Niitishe pale. Hadi password itafika kama na password ni mahali.